What's up, YouTube? On this video, we are going to mount the rear brake finally, and then what I've really been looking forward to for a while is building the front forks. So I'll explain more as we get into it. For those that have liked some of my videos and actually subscribed, it means a lot to me, guys. I really appreciate it. So thank you for that. You know, a little bit of boost of confidence. So like I said, it really does mean a lot to me. So let's get into this video. What's up, YouTube? So for our next performance, we need to make this go over here to stop this. So I think what I need to do first is kind of slide this on. I made this a couple videos ago, just a regular like hub from Tractor Supply. This is off a ZX10, this is off a ZX10. I figured something, you know, off like a heavier bike would have been good. So I need to kind of just slide that up on here first, and then kind of see if I'm going to even use any of this bracket at all, or just totally make a new one, whatever's going to be easier, and somehow, you know, kind of mount it up here as strong as possible. Might need to get in here and put some 3/16 or something. Give me something really strong to mount this to. One thing that's gonna suck is I put one of the rosette welds, it's like right here, because at the time it was easy for me to drill through because it was right in the groove, but I might need to clean some of that out, so that should be fun. But let me get this on and I'll bring you back. All right, so this is what I came up with here. I took off the lines of the brake fluid, just to kind of make it a little bit easier to work with this. The brackets here were really kind of hard to, I'm trying to figure out how to get over. So what I'm gonna do is, I kind of just, it's hard to see, I kind of put one tack right in here to hold this to here. This piece of steel is gonna get cut down. I'm gonna weld this to the actual bracket that would mount onto the motorcycle. And then in here, like on this side where I have the 4 mounting holes, I'm gonna use these two to hold the caliper in place. So let's see, when I take this off, it's gonna fall over the place. Got one hand. See if I can balance this. Nope. So these 2 bolts that hold the rear to the frame will hold the caliper in as well. And on this side, I just got one little tack up in the front there. I'm gonna weld it along this whole way here. Kind of, you know, shorten it up, you know, make it look a little bit prettier. And then that should, you know, I just got to make sure I drill these 2 holes in here, you know, as close as possible. It's not really my strong suit, but make them, you know, a little bigger so I can kind of wobble it in place. So next what I'm going to do is try to clean this metal up the best I can, get a nice bead along the whole thing, and then go from there, making some moves on this and get this going. This isn't, like, you know, a part of the fun part for me. After this, the next thing I'm going to do is probably be the next video or the end of this video. Probably the end of this video, because this hopefully won't take me too long. Is up in the front, we're going to we'll start building the legs.
You, sir, are an idiot.
All right, here's where we're at. I cut a little bit extra of that piece of bracket off on the bottom there. I'm sure this clamp is gonna flip off. So I'm gonna weld it along the bottom here. And then I'll mark the holes here, drill that. I should have did that first, but not that smart. So let me get welded on here, and I'll bring you guys back when this is done. This should be pretty easy, just to buzz it in fast. So be back in a second. All right, guys, this is what we got. Brackets on. I just kind of put it in there for now just to kind of see where it's going to line up. I need to get some smaller bolts in here that are recessed so they won't hit on the brake, but you know, I just kind of put these 2 in. I didn't even tighten them up, but this is good. Maybe I'll just kind of, you know, make a little cut in the back here, make it look fancy-ish. But that's mounted, so this way came out pretty good. I think it'll be strong, and you know, it's easy to come on and off to service the brakes. I will hook up the line and the pedal once I get the motor in place. That way I kind of see where I have room. But what I want to work on next is the forks and the leaf suspension. So I'm going to put this thing in the stand. I'm going to put a picture up to kind of show you what I kind of like, and we'll see how close I can get. All right, guys. I'm going to keep the talking down to a minimum. Try to do a little less talking, a little more doing. I'm going to put a picture somewhere of kind of what I'm trying to copy. Everybody kind of knows on a motorcycle like the old leaf spring looks like. So this is what I'm starting with. I have an old leaf spring off the rear of like a 32 Ford Model A. So I'm probably going to use one of these links as the spring. I'm trying to, at first I said, oh, let me just use the small one, but I might use one that has one of the eyelets in it, because that'll kind of help. And on the other side, I can just maybe cut this one off and weld it. We'll see when I get to that point. The triple trees, it's weird, it's just a little bit bigger than 1.25 inches. So the right way to do it would be for me to get 1.25 inch, round tube, and then kind of put it on the lathe and just take it down a little bit so it fit nice and snug. The reason I can't do that way is because the lathe is too small, and if I put a piece in that's I think these are 36 inch. I can't have a 36 inch. I'll never be able to get it in round enough, and I don't have one of those pieces that goes on the lathe. It's called like a work steady. I'll put it in what it's really called. I don't have one of those, so it'll be wobbling all over the place.
That's what she said.
Okay, so this isn't cut to length right now, obviously, but you can see I put one shim in here, and I got one up here. What I'll do is once I make this to the final length, and I know the areas are going to be clamped here and here, I'm not just going to leave the shims. Alright guys, so I did a little bit of thinking. After I cut those pieces yesterday to fit in there, I've hacked some shit up. I've done some really questionable things. That was too much, even for me. So what I did was I had a piece of pipe that was a little bit larger. I think the problem was because I was using 1-inch pipe to sleeve the 1 inch, it wasn't big enough to really go around it. And instead of having something just wedged in there, which is like bootleg, I had a piece of pipe that was, I think it's either 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. I used a plasma cutter, I slid it down the side, then squeezed it in the vise, so it's perfectly 1 inch in here. And what I'm going to do is, just on the lathe, I'm going to kind of cut it down so it fits inside the triple trees. So I'll get you a little closer so we can watch some of this and see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't take forever. And I have a spot in here where, where I had that cut. I didn't weld the whole thing yet, but we'll see how this goes, if it's catching in here or how this works out. Hey, what's up guys? I just finished making those insert spacer deals to kind of make it so the top of the fork would be tightened triple trees. That took way too long. I tried using steel, aluminum, and then I actually had some some PVC, and I machined that down on the lathe. Obviously, soft material, it went super easy. So I made up 4 of those. I'm just cleaning them up. And those are done. That was a pain. Now what I'm going to do is kind of make the ends for the forks that are going to hold the rocker. I have one I did here just to kind of see how it was going to work. So, can't see now. I got to clean this up a little better. What I did was stack a few pieces of steel together to fit in here perfectly. And I did some rosette welds in the sides to kind of lock this in place. It's probably still super hot. Yeah, it's still super hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the other one now and show you guys how I did it. I think it's going to be super strong. After this step is done, then I have to kind of figure the rocker. I have that round tube that hooks up, and then we got to do something with the actual the leaf spring. So it's coming together slowly, but it's coming together. Let me get the camera a little closer. I'll show you what I'm putting together for this, and we'll make some moves. Alright guys, here we're at. I'm sure there's a million better ways to do this that, like some of the other guys that I actually follow on YouTube they would make this a million times nicer, but you know, not really at that skill level yet. So I'm learning, trying to figure things out as we go. So it's still gonna be fun to play, right? So what I did was I already put the rosette welds, well, the holes for the rosettes in this pipe here. Now we have to kind of make, I guess, like the insert, we'll call it. So I want like a 2-inch stick out from here to the end where the rocker's gonna go. So basically this is real simple. Put one on here, then I get another one here, and this ends up filling that gap perfect. So I know it's in there square. Then all I do is sort of clamp this down. I'm actually gonna tack the end up really well, and then just a couple of tacks on the sides. Keep the welder on. Perfect. See, we got it in there. Now all I gotta do is throw some welds in both of those. She's ready to rock, I think. Alright guys, so I did one of these already, and I'm going to show you how I did it. It actually came out pretty good. If you notice in that picture that I put up before, the end of the fork actually has like a slight bend on it, and I'm not sure if that's part of the geometry or it looks cool. If it's part of the geometry, I'm in trouble, because that's not me. But for looking cool, I could do it. So I did one, like I said, it came out pretty good. All I did, you know, another part of this too is, you know, I'm really good at like building one of something, but I need to make another one and have it look like the first one. Yikes. So we'll see. So far, that one is awesome. So what I did to kind of make it so it'll be close is I measured from the front here, I measured back 10 inches. That's going to be the center of the bend. On the center of the die, I'll bring you over to the Harbor Freight pipe bender. The center of the die, I saw some guy made a video and he marks the center of that. So, you know, you kind of line that up to this, so it gives you some, if you have to pull it out and then put it back in again, that's what she said, then you kind of line it up in the same spot. So I've used the pipe bender a few times. I did it once without putting any sand in it. It looked like garbage. So next one I did with sand, it actually helped a lot. So you're gonna watch me put sand in a pipe. I know it's riveting, I get it. I should use the funnel, but I'm fat and lazy and the funnel's in the garage and I'm not. I'll speed this up. All right, guys, here's my Harbor Freight special. You'll notice when I put the this roller back in, and I put the pin in to hold it, you really should have the it's not really a cotter pin, but you really should have the clip in there to lock it so it doesn't pop out and do some damage. But I was using this for a project, and I had to keep taking the pipe in and out because I wanted to get it 90. So I took it out, checked it, took it out, checked it. It was just easier to do it this way than have to drop this arm all the way back down every time. So if I get hurt, it's because I'm lazy. But let me take it. So, see, this center mark right here. So when the workpiece is in there, I have the mark on the workpiece, line it up to here. So if I did need to pull the piece out and then put it back in here, line it back up with that, and we should be, in the ballpark. So I'm going to put the piece in here now. Now, one added thing with this is because the pipe has to come down and bend up, but this has to be straight. So this end piece here, because this is, where the rocker's going to go through that holds the wheel. So if I put it through like this and the bend comes up, I'm shot. So I got to try to keep it straight. So what I did for the first one, and I'm going to lower this down. What I did for the first one is I got it in place, and I just held a level on here and got it straight. And of course, then when I went to tighten it, it rolled a little bit, so had to go back a little bit to overcompensate for the roll. Let's see. If it comes out like the first one, we're golden. I'm actually pretty happy with that. And yeah, for I think it goes, for 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch. So since we're using 1 inch, we get to use the third hole. Big stuff, guys. Using the third hole, and I'm doing it on video. .5. Hopefully she's good. All right, we'll take this over to the bike and see what we did. All right, guys, here we are. The forks are actually held in with locking pliers on the top, but you can see how we got that 10.5 degree bend going up. That was the first one I made. This is the one that we just made together. So it's awesome. It looks good. I have those spacers that go in here and here. Actually take up the room, so we got that done. We got the back brake is mounted. Next thing, I'm just waiting on, I had to order a leaf because the one I was going to use from the Model A, it was way too stiff. There was no way. This thing, might as well just be rigid. So I ordered the lightest spring I could find, was 500 pounds. And I've did some research, and people have used those for leaf springs. So the next video, I'll be building, the leaf to come across. I'm going to build that round bar that comes around that actually holds the end of the leaf out here. Also, I'm going to be making a bracket to mount the leaf to the bottom here. And I think at that point, the front suspension will be all done. From there, then I'll probably put the motor in, make some mounts for that, kind of line up where the rear sprocket and the front pulley is going to be. Once I have that done, I can see where the brake is going to mount. I'm not going to do any wiring yet. I'll probably take everything apart and just totally weld the frame. And then from there, we can, start assembling. So we're getting there, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the likes, the views. Please, leave some comments. Let me know, what you guys like, maybe what you don't like. And we're going to keep this thing moving, man. Thank you very much.